Hello everyone, I just want to do another lesson with you looking at the visual element of line. So this time we're going to create, trying to zoom in a little bit here, there we go. We're going to create a landscape or a seascape using lines. I've added a few other details, just ignore them at the moment, but what you're going to be using is pen to build up all these wobbling lines. And don't think about what you're drawing exactly. Treat it as a bit of abstract art. So abstract art is something that doesn't necessarily look like something. So it's just patterns, colours, shapes, or in this case, line. And it doesn't have to look exactly like something. So just focus on the different lines and the shapes of them and let this picture evolve. So here's one I did earlier. This is wobbly lines, ended up looking a bit watery, so I've added a wee boat and a castle on some hills, so it looks a bit like a landscape and water to me. This one also came out looking a bit watery, almost like rocks though on the shoreline, so I've added a wee seagull in there. So I'm going to show you how to do this using this bit of paper. Okay, and the pens I've got 3 pens here. Got a really fine one, and then a sort of medium one, and then a broad tip one. So first of all, what you're going to do is just one line down the middle. And this doesn't have to be a perfect straight line. In fact, if it's got some wobbles, that's fine, because that'll start you off on your journey of making this line evolve and change into an interesting ripply image. Am I on the camera? Yep. So now what I'm doing is I'm drawing a second line, really following that first line, looking at the previous one and looking for any bumps and dips and changes in the line of it. And then I'm doing a third line. So wherever it's going up, I'm going up a little bit further. Wherever there's a dip going down, I'm going down. So I'm following the shape almost like an echo. And I'm building it up. So don't be afraid to sometimes go very close in. This is almost like lines on a tree. You know when you cut a tree in half and you see all the rings of the growth lines. Sometimes they're very close together and sometimes they're quite far apart. And that's a really interesting effect to use in a drawing. So sometimes they're packed in, jammed close together, and sometimes there's a little bit more space between them. But the basic important thing is that you look at the previous line every time, and where it dips, like here I'm going down, where it goes up and peaks I'm going up. And I keep following that in my new line, and I keep stacking them up. So I've done about 6 or so there. So what I'm thinking I might do is try a different pen. Maybe go for the medium one. Now I'm doing really long, continuous flowing lines all the way across. You might find that you get a bit stuck or tired halfway through one of these lines after you've done a few of them. So just pause if you need to and just catch your breath and keep focused on the previous line. So don't think about the first line that you've done or something else. Think only about that last line that you did. I think I might try the really thick pen now. So I'm quite liking the spacing getting bigger as well as I move up in this image. Going off the screen. I'm going to go back to my thin line now because I like the variety of the different thicknesses and weight of line. So I'm really still exploring line, just like we were in that last task. And one more. And then I'll go on the other side. So I'm kind of drawing left to right. You might find it easier to draw like that and draw towards you. I'll give that a go now. Actually, no, I won't, because it won't work in the picture. I'll just go that way. So I've turned it around, and now I'm going to work out the other way. Again, just following on from that middle line, working my way out. And whenever there's a bump or a dip, I am exaggerating it and going with that shape. It's up to you how many you do, but you know, the more you do, I think the more interesting an effect you get. You need to build it up. You need to get quite a lot of lines for this to work. One more, and then I'm going to stop. So this is really helping you learn how to control your pen, but also how to really look closely at another line, because you're not just drawing a new one, you're having to look at the previous line and look at that, what that line is doing. So there is my new one. I could have it this way up, or I could have it that way. I quite like it that way up, I think. Yeah, that's pretty cool. These look a bit like waves, like ripples from a boat, maybe. Or also it could look like the earth. You could have some plants growing out of this. Maybe I'll go for that, because the other two I've made into sort of watery landscapes. But this could be a field. It could be like the till of the earth where it's all been ploughed up, or bumps in the soil where there's a little seedling growing out. So maybe I'll do that. And I'll play around with the scale a bit more. So here we've got these bumps are not big hills, but they're tiny little piles of soil. Yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with that. I quite like that. I could add more to it. I could also add some colour to this, would be really interesting. And if I thought I needed some more line, I could keep going out. So basically you work it out, starting with one line, rippling out, going with the flow of the line. So looking at the bumps, looking at the dips, and really looking carefully to make each line evolve and create a bit of abstract art that you can then add some little elements to finish it off. Okay, I hope you enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to what you draw. Okay, bye.